Hey everybody, I have returned. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I couldn't see a reason to really post last week because what I'm doing now, or what I've got done now I should say, is a repeat of the stuff I did back in the summer with the turbojet controllers. So hence my absence. It's about 9:30. Temperature says it's about 18 degrees. The humidity is 75%. Got a few donations over the past 2 weeks. Thank you guys very much. Unfortunately, no zero-time Pratt & Whitney R4360 Wasps showed up on the driveway, despite the fact that I've got plenty of room for them out there. I guess I'll keep wishing. The old XC99's got a little dirt on her wing from the lubricant and cooling fluid from all the lathe work I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of mill work too, but mostly on the lathe. This is my work area if I haven't showed it off. I mean, this is where all the magic happens. My little welder and my brake. And this is where I do a lot of my cutting, if not all of it. That's it. So let's go up here and see what the damage is. I can't believe we're here, but we are. I always looked at this and said, there's no way that I'll be able to get here, that I'll have so much of this done. I'm absolutely amazed that I've come this far. I still can't believe that I've got this far. I was initially not even going to build the flight engineer station, but I said, what the heck? So if you sat down on a B-36, this is the way the controls would be. Your turbo superchargers would be off. Your mixture controls would be on cut-off idle, or cut-off I should say. And your master motor would be 0 RPM. When you'd start her up, you'd put it at about normal. The Dash 1 flight manual is pretty complex, so I'm just going off what I just read. And you do this one at a time. When you hit your ignition switch, you start with engine 4, and then 5, 6, and 3, 2, 1. So I guess you'd go back here to engine 4. Start this over again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your normal mixture. And then you would start up engine 4. And then you would do 5. And then you would do 6. And then you would do 3. Then you would do 2. Then you would do 1. So we're sitting here at normal. And of course your throttle lock is off. I don't know when you would do the master motor. Let's just say we want all the engines turning at the same RPM because we're all running. So we'll put her right there in the middle. Seems legit. So then, after the AC, the aircraft commander, taxis out to the runway, you go through the old checklist and whatnot. And then the AC says, or the aircraft commander says, engineer, give me takeoff power. Jets, 100%. And I actually have a vintage B-36 flight engineer and pilot checklist. That's exactly what they say. That's not just that is also a direct quote from the SAC film. Engineer, give me takeoff power. Jets, 100%. Takeoff power would be turbo superchargers maxed out. And then your mixture up here at maximum rich. You can do them all 6 at a time because I don't have the handles, and these are just on here temporarily, just kind of for the show. I'm gonna have to find something different. So now you're at maximum throttle. Let's get this here. There we go. Then you want to lock these guys so the engines don't want to vibrate. So now we're at takeoff power. That's what we need. Of course, after we climb to altitude and we get to where we want to be, then we can put it about normal. Or, depending on the needs of the individual engines, which that's an entirely different video within itself. Oop, I forgot to unlock it. Anyways, so now we're cruising at altitude. When they're at normal, these lamps right here will illuminate. I'd like to find a way to run power from the potentiometers that I'm about to show you through some sort of gizmo to make these things light up when they're in the normal position, just like the real airplane. The switches behind them are identical to that on the turbojet console because they're the exact same function. The ones in the back, you can either select lever. Actually, I think it's lever would be that way. So with it in lever, the lever is controlling the mixture control. And then if you switch it to, if these were to fail, the potentiometers specifically or anything in between, then you would put it at the switch control. So now we got these on switch. These become your mixture controls. You know, I think auto rich and rich are the two, or something like that. Auto rich and normal. But I guess when you would switch to this, these would also illuminate. But that's what those do. Now, at the risk of one of these popping off, I will take this guy off and show you what we got. Before I do that, I want to point at these holes right here. I noticed on some of the museum aircraft, they have these holes, but there's nothing there. What those are, they actually can be seen, or they can actually be seen on the B-36 52220 at the Air Force Museum. It's the most intact specimen we have. They're actually indicators, or specifically called pointers. They're little aluminum things, and they point exactly, and they line up with these little triangles, exactly what mixture level you're in. Because in this range, for like the auto rich or whatever, I think it's the lean, wouldn't be auto. You can select where you are, and you say at 10, blah, blah, blah. But I don't have those on there because it's a pain. And the B-36 maintenance manual in this department actually says that you have to take those off. But if you wiggle them around, you can. There is a way to do it, but it takes a lot of practice. There we go. I knew that was going to happen. Set them aside. Yeah. Those are just something I was playing around with today. I didn't want to come out here and machine in 15-degree weather. Plus, there's really nothing more I can do in this department because these guys, they're working smooth. What these do, just the same on the turbojet controllers, I can't emphasize that enough, is you got your gear, and that gear, that gear turns that thing that has a potentiometer behind it. That potentiometer sends it up, down, or around, or whatever, up over the radio operator station area. There's amplifiers, and those amplifiers then send a signal to the actuators on the 6 respective piston engines. And of course, these are adjustable, and they're kind of loose. And I can't forget to add that these gears are only held on by a single nut and bolt. There's 3 rivets, or there will be 3 rivets, but right now they're loose. So they like to jump their gears. But that's what they do. And notice how that's got a flat side there, and it's the same on the top. It catches that bar, and that bar prevents them from shifting back and forth. When you take these things, you get up behind them, and there's bolts that go in through the root here, and they're amazing how they just fall together. But notice how that stops it right there. And it stops it up on top as well. Just stops it dead. But there are shims that go in between this area here and down there. Little micro shims to get these things to catch the gears absolutely perfectly. In the same way on the real B-36. So I got to get down there on all 6 of them and just get them all calibrated perfectly. I don't know how I'm going to do these. You've got 6 on the mixture, you got 6 on the throttle, and you got 6 on the pilot's control, which are identical. They say engines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and below that they've got a T. So it'd be 1 throttle or T for throttle. So the ones I do for there, I can duplicate here. I don't know if I can get a more resistant or durable resin, but these are cracked. It might be my mixture. I'm kind of impatient in this. Like I said, I'm playing around today. It's kind of like a vacation day, but these will have an M for mixture. So 1M, 2M, and so on. One of the things I bought with one of my bigger donations recently that I failed to show you guys is this. This is an automatic tension regulator. What this does is hooks up to your flight control cables, and when you get to altitude or it gets cold, they contract, and in the heat they expand. You combine that with all the distances between all the gears and the pulleys and whatnot on the engine or on the airplane, you got problems. So you want to have a way for them to automatically adjust themselves. And that's what these do. The ones that I need, have this exact same part. So I'm going to be able to take all this apart and duplicate this fastener for fastener, dimension per dimension, and build the 4 of these that I need. And the B-36, instead of having these 2 huge long tubes, they retain this structure here. There's only one single tube that's about that long. So I need, looking back up here, I need one there, one there, one down there, and one down there. So that's going to keep me busy for a while. That might be a instance where I skip a week because it's going to take probably 2 weeks to build all these. We'll see. But I don't really, I guess I could go under this to show you what's going on back here. I'm even, not to pat my own back, but I had no dimensions in this area. I have no idea how big these are supposed to be. They're just based on the size of the potentiometers and the scaling from, the dimensions that I do have, like the lengths of the handles. But I built all these by looking at pictures. Gears, pretty nice. Let me see if I can get my light and show you what it looks like underneath here.